Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, cold Steel Voyager XL lineup. We get an update on the Nova One from Matt, and then what are the new knife companies to watch? And I'm actually asking this because I have no idea. It seems like I follow Stasa 23 and Neves Knives pretty closely, and I love those guys anyway. But they always have new. They're always checking out new stuff. And they might be the people to ask, but I'm going to ask you, what are the knife companies we should be looking out for? I can't even remember most of their names at this point. Oh, that sounds like that's like an old fart thing to say. I'm going to take that back. I'm just unfamiliar with them, and I need to familiarize myself with some of them. Byron Kennedy, last week's winner. That's in the mail to you, sir. I can't wait till you get that O knife package. O knife O light package. Here's another cool O knife. Byron says, "Hey Bob, Jim, junkies, enjoy Thursday night knives tonight, but I will be celebrating my son's 40th birthday with friends and family. Thanks, Bob. Received the EDC package today." That's awesome, Byron. A very, very happy 40th to your son. I contest that life starts at 40. I think that's a card I saw when my dad turned 40, but 40 and beyond has been great. So a hearty congratulations and happy birthday to your son, and have fun, Byron. Groundfog, good to see you here, sir. He waves. That's a wave. I remember I used to think it was clapter. Hey, how's it going? We have a Knife Day with us. Good evening, Junkalos. I just got my new Spartan Blades Field Series Poros today. I really like it. The Poros. Is that the new one? The one that Dave just got. Hey, Dave, how's it going? This old sword blade reviews. Evening, junkies. Up and coming knife companies. Newish Ocaso. Yes, for sure. I've been digging them. I got one right here. I've been carrying a lot. CMB. I've been wanting to get that. The Chris. I know you have that. And also the inexpensive Axis lock one. I think it's called the Predator or something. Jack Wolf, most definitely. Ketuo, that's one that I was trying to remember when I wrote this down. We'll have to hear more about that. Off Grid, they've been around a little bit. Orion, yes, certainly. RMJ Tactical, they've been around a long time. TK, TKL, and Vosteed. But I get what you're saying, because RMJ is coming out with some new and cool stuff, and RMJ also owns Chattanooga Leather, makes the best leather sheaths, and then they also own American Tomahawk Company, and they've just come out with a couple of new versions of their Model 2, which is pretty exciting. I think one with a hickory haft. So yes, Dave, most definitely. And TKL, you've got that MR1. I cannot wait to get mine. I think that's what it's called, the MR1, the Pikal style one of these. Night Stalker. I love this thing. It's on me I love that thing. I carry it a lot. Robert Douglas says, great way to spend Thursday evenings. Thanks, Bob. Well, Robert, it's a pleasure to have you, man. It's great to have you here, and it's you and Flip Solo and everyone else who makes it fun and makes it worthwhile. Hey, you guys and gals, says Flip Solo. Well, it's good to have you here, man. The gal part, still to be determined, but it was funny. I was looking at the demographics of my channel, and it is 98% men. I'm like, wow, I got 2% women. That's pretty cool. I'm breaking barriers. I'm conquering frontiers. Blade Ogre, good to have you. Hello, all. He says, hello to you, good sir, and your 10 blades. I'm holding my Cav Black Palm Inlay half face blades folder in Magna Cut. Oh my god, that sounds great. I say that sounds great because half-face blades to me is semi-mysterious. Like, I've seen a lot of their work, but definitely have not seen much of their folder stuff. Sounds cool. I know that they make some sort of folding ringed knife, right? He does. And I think he sent one to Joe Rogan. That's how I think I found out about half-face blades at all a few years ago. But that sounds awesome. Handles on those are amazing. Joseph S., good to see you here, Joseph. Good evening, fellow junkies. Well, a fine evening to you, sir. Kep Mugnessar, good to have you here. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and junkies. Right back at you, Kep Muk. Matthew, good evening, everyone. Matthew, good evening to you, sir. Matthew, do you like this? Centerline Tonto. This is going to be our Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway knife next week. I've given one of these away before. They are awesome. I got 3 of these from Off Grid Knives a few months back. I kept the one most attractive to me, but with the worst action. And by worst, I mean least best. They're all really, really awesome. This one I think is the best. The other one that I gave away was a stone wash, was also super smooth. Anyway, I really, really love this knife. I think Off Grid hit the magic balance. Not too big, and it's not very boxy at all. It has sort of the contouring effect with those large chamfers of the Stinger XL, but not quite the overall size, and it just fits in the hand perfectly. And that blade is so amazing. I mean, I love the Off Grid Knives blades. This one is really excellent. I love where that point is, right in the middle. It's sort of gladius like. Anyway, this will be next week for the Gentleman Junkies. We will be putting this one up for giveaway. Excited about that. And maybe you saw this in the background when Jim cut to that. I'm also excited about this. This is a great knife. I've had this a long time. This is my SOG Super Bowie. And I was working and living in New York City when I got this. And I spent $200 on it, which was a lot for me. Look at this blade is just, it's so beautiful. But anyway, I remember it was delivered to the office I was working in. And somehow it was a Friday, and somehow it got missed, didn't get delivered to my office, and I had to go into the bowels of the building and shake some people down to finally get this box, because I didn't want it to get sent back. I didn't want it to get stolen or languish in the basement forever because they couldn't deliver it the one time. So I chased it down and found it. These SOGs are amazing. This is the Super Bowie. I would like to get the smaller 6-inch version of it, the one that was in Terminator 2. That was the first time. No, the first time I saw a SOG Bowie was in the movie Uncommon Valor, about the guys who go back to rescue their friends. Yes, the Poros is one of the new knives. Oh, that is a beaut. That is a beaut, all designed by Curtis Iovito. I would say to keep an eye out for Ernest Emerson's son, Lucas Emerson. He made his own knives to bring to Blade Show and sold them out before I got there. I went straight there when I got in. Wow. Okay. All right. I will. I love, I'm sure that kind of artistry comes through the family, in the blood. Blame Dexter. Good to see you here, Blame Dexter. Uncommon Valor. Hang on one sec. One of the guys used one of these, and he was describing how to do century removal. Put it in the back of the head, scramble the brain. You remember that? Maybe not. It was a kind of a B movie, I guess. Blame Dexter says, I feel like the past few shows I've said I've had a bad day. Oh, I'm pleased to announce that today was really good. Yeah, I remember last week when you said that. Sorry, I got sort of coming down with something. Back to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training. Oh, that always feels great. I got better today. I helped someone else get better today. You know what's interesting, Blame Dexter, is I've been a martial artist since my early 20s. I'm now in my early 50s. And it's always been like this, like I'll get really into it for a year. And then the next year, I find it hard to get to, so I don't go to as many classes, whatever. But I've always found that when I come back to active, I always have a better perspective on it and seem to be a little bit better, though I've lost all the conditioning. So when the conditioning comes back, I'm always a little bit better after a little time away. And that's because I'm not a professional, and I was never a fighter going into the ring or anything like that. I don't think you can just drop training just because you can't make it in those cases. But anyway, hats off to you. It's great. It's great to do any sort of exercise. I'm so sorry. It's great to do any sort of exercise, but in my personal opinion, martial arts is some of the best exercise, especially for people who don't like to exercise. And that's where I kind of fit in, because it activates the brain as well. And then you also have that third element of like, maybe I could use this in a scrape, or at least I'm better off having known it because of the attributes I've trained while doing it. Flip Solo says, I daily a Chattanooga Leatherworks single shot bear wallet. I love it. Wait, I daily. Okay. So yeah, thank you, Jim. I daily carry a Chattanooga Leatherworks single shot bear wallet. I love it. So single shot, I guess it's called the Bear, or is it Bexar? I know in Texas they say Bear for that county. I learned that through the knife. But yeah, their stuff is awesome. I don't have it out here, but my Spartan Harzy dagger is in one of those Chattanooga leather sheaths. Brandon Sutton says shed knives and cast on knives are cool. Yes, indeed. I have a shed knives. This latest one, I need to make a video on this. This is on my tray of knives to make videos on. This thing, I love that wicked profile. This reminds me a little bit of a Medford, just in its thick slabbiness. You know, it's a 1/4 inch thick. It's really thick stock, and then it's got a short hollow grind, and that's how my Praetorian was ground. And you know, you get that surprising amount of sharpness from something so thick. This sucker is pretty heavy. I'm interested in beating this up because when I got the first knife he sent me was the 2023 Tonto, which, if you ask me, looks more like a Warncliffe. Anyway, I took that out and I did a lot of wood processing with it in the backyard, and kind of was rougher on that knife than normal, just to kind of check it out. And it did great. It did awesome. And then when I brought it back in after about an hour of like batoning and carving and doing stuff with it, I brought it in and it was good with paper. And then when I talked to him, you know, he said he doesn't heat treat his blades, and I could not believe it. And you know, I was like, how are people going to react to this? And then I just saw Scab had a shed knife, and he puts his knives through their paces way more than I do. And I don't know what's going on. I think some sort of mystery steel in that, or some sort of mystery component in that 154, or what is it? It's not 154. What is this? I think it is 154. I don't know. I got to figure it out. I got to look at the card again. But shed knives, yes, that's my long thing for yes. Shed knives, they are a company to watch. And Jack Billings, the guy who heads it up, is a young dude, and you know, he's got a long life of knife making ahead of him, God willing. Blade Ogre says my new company to watch would be Shed Knives. Okay, love their model by year concept. Yes, like the cars. And the 2022 knives are great to work on and modify. Their 2023 knives are tanks, no doubt. So I had the 2023 Tonto, and that's the other one. Though this one to me looks like the Tonto, but this one is called the Conquest. So yeah, exciting stuff happening there. 5-Door, good to see you here, 5-Door. Good evening, everyone. I'm late. American Blade Works, if not mentioned. Okay. All right, that's the perfect segue to a pocket check. Sprung that on you, Jim. Today, in my front right pocket, I was carrying an American Blade Works. What a coincidence, man. I was carrying an American Blade Works model number 2. And I love this knife. It has been in my pocket quite a bit since getting it at Blade Show. Of course, it was a loaner from Blade Show, which turned into a gift, which I'm very, very grateful for. Because this thing is my first Magna Cut knife and his first titanium knife, or I should say, the first knife from Michael that is titanium. That is, you know, I've never even experienced a Model 1 in titanium. So beautifully done liner lock. I love the Art Deco look. To me, it looks like an old car. I mention that all the time. Even closed, it's beautiful. The blade is so incredibly sharp, so sharp on this. And Magna Cut, the Magna Cut is run at 6364 Rockwell. So just the sweet spot it's supposed to be at. There's a little gunk on the blade, but I really like this knife, and it has I can't really see it, but I can feel it. It has quite a nice little groove there for the detent ball on the tang. So there's no, as Metal Complex calls it, double clutch, where you unlock it and then you go to close the knife and it stops at the lock bar and then you have to overcome that. It's a very smooth transition on the Model 1. Very very pleased and kind of in love with that knife. Okay, next up, another one I'm pleased and in love with, the Gunslinger. This has been this has been doing an interesting dance on that tightrope between front right pocket and front left pocket. What can I say? This ends up getting dropped in my front left pocket sans clip. I mean, I leave the clip on there, but I oftentimes don't use the clip. I oftentimes use this as a secondary knife, though it is primary knife size, with 3 1/4 inch blade there, pretty big, or big for a slip joint, so to speak. This is not a slip joint, but to me, it's falling in that role due to the form factor. So yeah, it's living in my front left pocket, and then sometimes if it rattles around or I have my phone there, I'll put it in my back left pocket next to my bandana / handkerchief and use that clip. This thing is awesome. This thing is just so wickedly sharp. I have, where is it? This. Sorry, I keep going over here. Okay, so I have this Best Tech Keen 2 on loan, and I really like this knife because it's big and beautiful, and it's just awesome. But this, I don't know, it's been to a number of people. It cuts paper fine, but there was something I was cutting, and I went to use this. Now I'm not remembering what it is. It was cellophane, I think, and I went to use this, and it just was not doing it. And this super thin blade just glided through it, and well, I don't know why I had to get this out, but maybe just to show it off. Such a cool thing. But yeah, that, like, if this is probably all you need, and you will be amazed at how well it cuts. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you already have a Jack Wolf knife and know how amazing it is. But I don't know. I'm just really in love with this one, and man, he opened up a Pandora's box. I hope I really want to see like the grouping of knives, maybe not all of them, but I think it'd be awesome to see all of them given this treatment. I would love for the next one to be the Venom, with that Wharncliffe blade and the swayback handle, bolster lock. How cool would that be? But I don't know. I can't read minds, as I tell my wife sometimes. All right, let's see. Brandon Sutton says D-Rocket Designs and Jeremy Valentine knives are nice. I don't know Jeremy Valentine, but D-Rocket is pretty interesting. Makes some pretty interesting work. Very designy, artsy, beautiful. A lot of his stuff is sort of that Art Deco look to me a little bit. That sort of 30s aesthetic. Have a nice day. Have a knife day says, have you seen Off Grid Knives new Cayman XXL fixed blade made in Taiwan? Looks very nice with the Cayman blade shape. Indeed, I have. That thing just looks awesome. Interested in the handle. I can't remember exactly what it looks like. I believe it looked a little bit like the handle of the not the Grizzly, one of his other big knife. I have a SOG Super Bowie also. I wish they'd do more of those series again. So do I. When I was, let's see, I guess it was about 2008. I feel like they were doing a lot of that stuff, like when or in the early 2000s up to about mid 2000. Hey, what's up, man? They were doing a lot of those, and the leather stacked handles and the military style blades. I love those. Cheeto Bandito, good to see you, man. I have my Wanderer with me. We just saw him give me the thumbs up. So glad to be able to represent. I love this wicked blade. Look at that. I mean, it just looks so cool. The slight hawk bill. Definitely like this is the Fenrir model, by the way. And someone amongst us, I'm not sure if he's here with us tonight, has this. It's Will B has one of these too. But it's perfectly positioned, that point, for just a kind of a lashing out strike. Get out of my face. And that point is right on point and very ergonomic. I love the ergonomics of this. Great knife. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. I am sorry. I do seem to gotten one of those summer colds. Okay, what movie is this from? Yeah, summer colds are the worst. What's that from? And you can't Google it. I quote it here all the time. I'm sure someone's going to guess it right away. Omnivore Blade Works is also worth a look. Omnivore Blade Works. All right, I'll have to check that out. Jack of all trades, I guess. Cold Steel Collector 808. Aloha, junkies. It's been a while, but I have the day off, so I was able to catch the live. Or Bob for president. Wow. You're gonna really find that to be well, let me just put it this way. I'm showing off my 5 XL Voyagers tonight. So that's just for you. No, I mean, that's just very coincidental. But I think Bob for president, all right. Flip Solo says the knife it holds is the barb. Oh, okay. But the wallet is amazing. I got you. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like the concept of the wallet with the knife. I've seen that a couple of times with little fixed blades. I think it's cool. Robert Douglas says, I also have a heavy ebony cane. Ooh, my dispute resolution tool. Yes, I'm just a kindly old, or, you have that like a cane. You might think one thing about someone and then suddenly they turn it around on you and you're running for your life. I.e., 2 stories that come to mind real quickly. There was an older gentleman in New York while I was living there sometime in like the early 2000s. And I just read a news story about an older gentleman who was at a restaurant and someone did something and he pulled out a sword cane and chopped a guy's hand off. It's like, yeah, I don't mean, yeah, like that's good. But I mean, like, yeah, some criminal scumbag steps to you. I just like seeing the old guy defend himself with a sword cane. I mean, why not? And have you seen the cane whip from Cold Steel? Pretty cool stuff. That second story is not much of a story. Grim Reaper says that shed knife is a sharpened pry bar. Grim Reaper, good to have you here, sir. And I cannot disagree with you. It's interesting to see with that kind of grind, whether it's a Medford or a shed or whatever, when you're cutting through stuff, how it yawns away from the edge because of that shallow, hollow grind. Dion Page, good to have you here, Dion. Hello, King Junkie and Jim and all you junkies. Well, hello to you, Dion. I hope you're doing well. Oh, let me finish up this. This pocket check. For instead of a fixed blade today. Wait, hang on. Blade Ogre says Shed said at the 2023 154 knives were not heat treated. However, the 2022 knives are 420 HC and are heat treated. Maybe the 2023 knives were heat treated as blanks because they are very sturdy. Yeah, no doubt. They are very sturdy. They are. I don't know. I was wondering if maybe it was pre-heat treated or how that works. When I had him on the show, I was like, the proof is in the pudding, and I was out there using it. And hi, all TKJ fans. Hey, Hag90, good to have you here. I said, if you don't, what do you like? You have to come up with a strategy when you use other steels in the future. Like, you're going to have to heat treat those if this one doesn't have to be. But it sounds like he already has with 420. So I know that he had a homemade forge too that he started his knives with. So no doubt these things are defying that rule, at least so far. Seems like. EDC for Fun says, hey everyone. Well, hey to you, sir. Jose Abdul Favela, good to have you here, man. Bastinelli Mako folder left pocket. I like those most days. And Spyderco Yo Jumbo Blackout as well. That's a nice combo. That Mako folder is cool. That's the one. It sort of has a very subtle but long sort of wave on the back. You can wave that out, but it doesn't. Right? Is that right? But it doesn't look as explicit as that. Speaking of that, let me show you that. Instead of a fixed blade today, I had this Voyager XL. That's what got me interested in just showing all of my Voyager XLs, which I will shortly. This obviously is the Tonto. I wanted to get this in serrated. I love that long, straight serrated blade. And then look at how it terminates with that nasty little hook there. And this is a great knife. This is a, what are those called? Snaggletooth MF, but that's a prototype for a model he never ended up making, I don't think. But it snags the pocket that's made of aluminum, and this waves out. So I had this and used it to vanquish my foes today. Just kidding. I didn't use it for anything. And then lastly, for emotional comfort, I've been carrying this a lot lately. The Wingard Wearables Quill. It was one that I carried a lot for a while, and then not for a long time, and then I just did this jute wrapping on it, and now it's in my pocket a lot. It's kind of like a worry stone that you can go ballistic with. This is my favorite grip right here. So you can use this, and I've hit things with it, and it's pretty comfortable now that I have this here. But you can make contact with that, and then of course you can make contact with that hammer fist. So that's what I had on me today. Interesting and eclectic carry. What were you carrying? Okay, let's hear it. Let's see it. Sorry, it took me so long to get this out. But yeah, American Blade Works, Jack Wolf Knives, two companies that were just mentioned. I would put Wingard Wearables on this list because on the show, on the most recent interview show that he was on, he announced his new knife coming, and he was calling it the Tusk just preliminarily, but he's having a knife naming contest. And it is a cool and innovative design and carry. It's interesting and cool, and I want one. Jeremy Nedro, how you doing, Jeremy? I'm carrying the Off-Grid Knives Cayman XL and Old Timer Bruin. Okay, first of all, Cayman XL, awesome. And I don't know if you were just here, but the XXL Bowie fixed blade is coming out. I'm so excited about that. So if you like that Cayman XL, I know you'll love that. And then Bruin, Old Timer Bruin. I'm thinking that's a slip joint. What is that? Bruce Willis said it? No, he did not say it. Summer colds are the worst. Jack Nicholson says it. There, I just gave it away. Hey, how's it going, man? I was driving, says Will B. Good to have you here, Will. Speaking of Will and others, I just wanted to let you know that I got a little update from Matt. I was talking to Matt Chase of Hogtooth Knives about the Nova One. He just dumped his bike, by the way, and broke his leg. But he's a tough ass Marine. He's like, I'll take some aspirin at night. Man, he got back on his 700-pound bike and rode it home after dumping it and breaking his lower leg, which is well, stout-hearted, I will say. Anyway, let me show you some of the pictures he sent of the knives in progress. These are the Nova ones. They are heat treated and ground, and what do you call it? Not etched, but what do you call it when you put the name in there? Yeah, not engraved. That's not the right word. It's got the name in there, but it's like inset. So I love these pictures. I especially like all of them lined up like that. It's very pleasing to me. So I asked if his busted leg was going to have an effect. He said he doesn't think so. So we're still on schedule for delivery of these in late August. Oh, I think I see his boot there on the floor. Yeah, from getting all jacked up. All right. Godspeed, Matt, and psyched to get those in the hands of everyone. And if you're wondering, I'm talking about the Nova One, and I'm going to put that Nova One there, and let you know that if you like that knife and you didn't get one on pre-order, you might be interested in the Tonto. This is the original model from which this came. I just gave him a Bowie design that I liked, and drew it out and sent it to him, and basically added that to this handle. I love the size, the platform, the grip, everything about this Tonto. And so I wanted that Bowie. And so if you like knives of this size, I vouch 1,000% for these EDC Tontos. They're awesome. And most of them come with these grooves in the micarta. This was a special material, It's that rubber and G10. And so he didn't groove it out. And he didn't put liners on this one. It's nice and thin. But yeah, check them out. The EDC Tonto is just so awesome. It's so thin, it's not so thin. It's robust but hollow ground and comes to a pretty fine, like this is great for making one of my best knives for making fire sticks, feather sticks for making a fire in the family pit. You know, I don't have to do that. I could just rub some lint and some Vaseline and just set that on fire. But I like to do, you know, I got the knives. I may as well do the fire stick thing, even if I do light it with a Bic. So yeah, those knives are awesome for that. Check them out. Blame Dexter says, didn't carry anything today because all I did was go to the gym, but I did buy, oh, nice, the Beg Knives Astio, super cool Tonto blade shape. Yes. And the handle is very cool, and it's pretty comfortable. That's a good purchase. You know, I would like to get the Bodega in that series. Will be. I'm really interested in Jed Hornbeak. Scab, D-Bad, and Apex Alchemy have all been talking about him and his knives. Yeah, super cool guy and very, very awesome knives. His asymmetric push dagger, I came very close to buying, but it was just a little rich for my blood at the point that I experienced. If I had checked it out earlier, I could have gotten it. But he was very nice, and the young lady that was helping him was really nice, and his blade designs are so cool. And when you pick them up, man, you know they're really, really well done, and they're for real. Grim Reaper says, good to see you again, Bob. Today's carry, good to see you too, Grim Reaper. Today's carry was the Tops Cat. Always fix blades for me. I love that. Yes, today was my first day without a fixed blade on my person. Of course, I had the T-Kel, which I'm now wearing right now. The Night Stalker was in my bag, as well as the SOG Seal Pup, which is always in my bag, never comes out unless I need it. But yes, I'm with you. And I like the Cat, though I never had the Cat. I had the Interceptor, which was the 4-inch version of the Cat, but still a great knife that I got rid of. I sold like a Mama Luke, and now, you know, the Interceptor is discontinued, I believe. Power Play for real. Good to have it here, Power Play. Pocket check for me. Spades, Cold Steel Espada Large, excellent choice, and Swiss Army Tinker. Awesome, man. That's like perfectly rounded out carry. You've got the dueling knife and also big cutting job knife, and then you have the jack of all trades in your pocket. This old sword says, today's carry, the Civivi Incisor 2 Karambit, Spartan Blades Poros. Oh, yes, okay, so I'm late to the Poros party, though I was talking about it a couple of weeks ago. I got it. Well, like I said, right now. Oh, sorry, man. Beyond EDC Pinkerton Design Slim Classic Warney. Vosti. Oh, yeah. That's a nice one. That is a nice one. It reminds me kind of a traditional style Warncliffe, like on a slip joint. Beyond EDC Pinkerton Design Slim Classic Warney, Vosteed Corsair bar lock, and the Orion Cetus. I love that knife. The Vosteed Corsair, that's the new one, right? That is a nice looking knife. Looks almost has like some echoes of Bill Harsey in that blade design. It is a nice looking knife. As always, Dave, excellent and impressive carry. That Poros, I'm very interested in. The Incisor too, because the Incisor 2 too, because when the Incisor first came out with I was always kind of like, man, that is just an inherently beautiful knife. Like even if you don't carry it much, it's just, man, the lines on it are very appealing. Joseph S says, Cold Steel Verdict Clip Point, Mini Tac Bowie. I can vouch for that awesome one. SRKC, so that's the compact survival rescue knife. Buck 284, and the Leatherman Signal went hiking. Wow, that's a good carry. Mannix 2 was waiting for me when I got home. Right on. That's the Verdict. Do you liking the Verdict? That's got the Atlas lock, right? Descentient 01, digging my Taupe Recon. Oh, nice. Taupe Recon with sharpened swedge. CF scales, green liners, and malachite spacer with a sharpened swedge, Descentient. Can you send me a picture like you did last week of your BRKs? I'm interested in this. This is a folding knife with a sharpened swedge. I like that idea. K Mason, good to see you here, K Mason. Hello, junkies. I meet a maker that moved local from Texas, Angel Fire Knives. I've yet to see his work in hand. I wonder. I think I might follow him on Instagram. I'm assuming everyone is on there now who makes knives. I got a little PSA, a little special announcement. Not an announcement. I just got to know. Loyal Group. A couple of weeks ago. Are you here, Loyal Group? You won this Sativian like 3 or 4 weeks ago at this point, or no, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you haven't sent me your address, and I really don't have any way to kind of get in touch with you and prompt you. So if Loyal Group, if you're out there, this is yours, sir. Let me send it to you. I also have a bag of random knife stickers to go to you. So I hate to not send winnings out to people. So there you go. Just send me your address to the Knife Junkie to Bob at TheKnifeJunkie.com. Serrated is, Power Play for Real says, serrated is pure defense in my book, and I love that. Yes, I have the serrated Black Talon, and that I'm sure the one without serrations is very, very dangerous and very, very horrible to get struck with, but something about that in serrations, it's just, as the kids say, it's just extra. Is that what they say? That's extra. Yeah. Ket McNesser says, today I'm carrying a Spyderco Delica 4. Very nice. A Buck 110 Slim Pro, the LT Wright Knives Bush Baby, and the Wingard Wearables Quill. All right. Brotherhood of the Quill. Oh, that's corny. But I'm glad you were carrying your quill as well. I do apologize. Blade Ogre says, carrying the Sleazy Ogre. That's the one that he designed that was made by Jason Grant. Sniper Blade Works LPC, Bark River Ultralight Field Knife, the 2022 Bullet Barlow. Is that Winchester? Emerson Sheepdog Bowie, Lion Steel Gitano, the Shed Freedom Collection, Buck 110 Sport, and the JW Benny's Clip. My God, man. So I got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you're 9. Every once in a while you'll hit 10, but I think 9 is where you land. Five Door says, Eclipse Warney and Feel Good Jack. We have an aristocrat amongst us. That's a very nice carry. I love the upswept angle of the straight edge of the Warney on that knife, right? Oh, wait. Did you say Eclipse? I'm thinking of the half track. I like the way the Warney on the half track kind of comes up like that. But on the Eclipse, actually, it's totally flat with the fingers. So either way, you can't go wrong. Acid Test Kids, good to have you here. Today, I had the Kaiser Theta and the Monterey Bay Knives Slayback. Very nice. I like that Theta. That's a pretty knife. Though I feel like your hand, you might be very far from the cutting edge. Is that right? Or is that a spot where you put your finger up front? Jeremy Nudrow, I can't wait. The Bruin is a USA-made slip joint and looks like a sod buster with a backlock. Ooh, cool. That sounds really good. Have a Knife Day says, stamped? Yeah, stamped. Yeah, here, like, or embossed? Intagli. It's like engraved, except not with acid and let's see. Can we get it? Yeah. I'll go with stamped. I'm not sure how the hell he does it. I'm not the knife maker. Excuse me. Will B says Riot Horizon C, Demco AD20 Slim, very nice. Wee Ziphius, also very nice. Benchmade Riff, Civivi Incisor, Axial Gear Shift, Spyderco Ronin 2. Okay, so knife wise, we're one. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 knives. What happens after that 7th knife? Olight Baton 3, Arkfeld, UV, and Wee Baculus Pen. So with the UV Arkfeld, I just went to their website before. Why would you get that? I'm unsure as to what the benefit of the UV is. Do let me know. Grinding Knives, good to have you here, Grinding Knives. Carried the Miguron Dromos all day and then swapped into the Kingdom Armory Mini Rogue. Nice. For this evening. Also had my Boker Burnley BFF Pocket Fixie on me as well. Nice. I like that knife, but I especially love the Kingdom Armory. I love his stuff. He's all the way back to 100% handmade custom. He's not doing any more mid-techy stuff anymore, which is kind of cool. A purist. Have a Knife Day says, I'm taking a trip to Idaho next month by myself to visit the Buck Knives factory. Interesting thing is that they used to be in a California-based company out of San Diego. Oh, how about that? And that's where you are, right? Why by myself in quotes? Because we're never truly by ourselves. Dion Page says, Recon 1 Tonto in S35 VN. Excellent choice. Cold Steel Spike Tonto, also great. And Swiss Army Knife Evo Grip at the ready today. I don't know what that Evo Grip is, but it sounds like it might be a more contoured Swiss Army knife. Making a lanyard for the Poros right now while watching the show. See, I love that. What is everyone doing right now? I am assuming that most people are in some way being productive while I'm constantly grabbing tissues. I think you're all being productive in one way or another. Sharpening your knives, making a lanyard, washing the dishes, driving the car, whatever you're doing, you're probably doing something else at this moment. I'm curious what that is. And what are you wearing? No, I'm just kidding. Dion Page says, I'm reshaping an old OKC pilot knife. Very nice. That's a great, those things are great because they are built like, brick shit houses, but they come with awful edges. At least they did back in the day. And I always thought to have one of those, but have it really sharp and functional with nice even grinds and everything. They really do not take their time making those. At least the Ontario ones. I thought that'd be cool. So good to know. I love it. Descentian 01, not a folder, but I will send a pic. Awesome. All right. Sharpen Swedge. I mean, you had me at Sharpen Swedge. Grinding Knife says, I actually just picked up a Corsair in Natural Micarta today. Definitely stoked to see how it is. Loving every Vosteed I've added to the collection. Yeah, I like my Vosteed too. I think I only have one. I've had a couple of them that I've given away, but I've kept the Nightshade. That I love that. Loyal Group, present, sir. Okay, hang on. I am so sorry. Talk amongst you. Hey, Jim, could you show this shot right here of these beautiful fixed blade knives right here while I. It's funny because right before I came down here, I'm like, I feel fine, baby. And then I don't know why. Oh, and my shot was all blurry there too. Woo, Loyal Group. I sent an email to the Gmail account you gave, but never heard back. Really? Because I didn't see. Okay. All right. I will look again. I don't know why I didn't see it, but I'll look in all the folders. I guess I have a social media folder that I didn't create, but maybe it went in there. But if you don't mind, can you send it again tomorrow, just in case it actually didn't come through? I mean, chances are I'm a bonehead, but just send it again, just to be safe. Send it to TheKnifeJunkie at gmail.com, actually, instead of the other one. And we'll see about that. But here it is. And then I also have a really nice bag full of stickers curated by my little honey bears. No, curated by my daughters. Honey Bear 85. Good to have you here, Honey Bear. Looks like you're on the slopes again. I like that. I like your avatar. Good evening, all. He says, good evening to you. Jeremy Nedro, 9 knives is serious commitment. I love it. Now, there are some days where I'll travel around with 9 knives, but they're always, the majority of them are in a bag or something. Honey Bear, my knife purse, as Scab likes to call his. Honey Bear 85 says, carried a Gen 1 Steingraber Performance Knives Lamia. Love that. And the Bark River Knives Trailmate 2 today. Yeah, no doubt. The SPK Lamia is, man, I haven't experienced one in real life, but I have the Shark, one of his first fixed blades, his first fixed blade in Crewwear, and it's so good that I can only imagine his folder is amazing. On the Edge 72. Good to have you here, sir. Bobby, good to catch your show, man. Well, it's good to have you here with us as always. I think you're about one year younger than I am, if 72 means anything. Dissentient 01. UV will charge GITD like no other. Okay, I still don't know what that means. UV will charge. So you are you saying you use the UV light to charge up things? But what is that? What is that thing? Okay, Wilby says I can use the UV to spot things more easily. Some of the grease I use on machines will show up better under the ultraviolet light. Oh, that's cool. Like the Arcfeld design, I find the UV more useful than laser. Oh, okay. I have the laser on the one that I got, and it's fun. But yeah, the UV is yeah. Okay, I got you. That's cool. So you can see all sorts of stuff. So the kind of thing you wouldn't want to shine around this office. No, I'm just kidding. Blaine Baxter says, I'm playing Killing Floor 2, which helps improve hand-eye coordination and sharpens my ability to think fast in stressful situations. I'm imagining that Killing Floor 2 is a video game. Speaking of which, did you guys see that someone so I don't this is all a little bit foreign to me, but I sort of get it. There's a video game called Counter-Strike, and someone I guess in this game worldwide there are 12 versions of this knife, the Blue Gem Karambit, I think it is. And some dude, some noob who's only been playing the game like 2 weeks or something found this, much to the consternation of players all over the world, probably. And it's worth $200,000, a virtual knife skin that you use in this video game. Now, I am not a gamer, as you know. So if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't. But I'm pretty sure I understood this article. And yeah, so pretty amazing that someone who's only been playing a short period of time finds this 1 out of 12 blue karambit in this game, and you can actually sell it in the real world for actual money. And the kid's like, yeah, I'm gonna help my parents. How awesome is that? And I got to get my girls playing video games. Anyway, that's nuts, man. So so some are making lanyards, some are sharpening, some are playing video games, and I love it. Productive. We have to be productive. Got to keep moving like a shark, because if you don't, you lose oxygen, and that's it. Unless you're in some sort of a stream. Anyway, Have a Knife Day says, I consider myself to be semi-retired from being a field service technician, screen printing industry. Oh, cool. Installation and service of the shirt printing machines. That is cool. Semi-retired. Yeah, I had a friend back in New York who worked in a screen. I don't know if it's screen printing, but it was giant printing, like murals and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting to go into her workplace and check out all the machines and all the presses and stuff. Have a Knife Day says, my wife cannot take the time off. Oh, so I'll just be going there. Okay, flying into Spokane and driving into Idaho. If it's any of your business, Bob. No, the only reason I asked is the quotations. Roger that, says Loyal Group. Awesome. Get this on the wing. Will B says, well, I had my Riot Exo and Olight Baton 3 Pro Max in my EDC pouch, and my PMP Warthog and Olight Mini Perun 2 in my backpack today. Oh, okay. So the 9 turns into 11 or 12. Do you have three there? Loyal Group says, I'm cleaning the litter box and wearing boxer shorts. All right. Cowboy boots and a football helmet. Dude, I love that. I love that image, whether it's real or not. That's pretty much, you know what? Something a couple of Father's Days ago, Father's Days back, a few years back, my wife got me this litter robot. It's this big egg-shaped thing. We have a cat. I love this cat. She's the coolest ever, but I hate the cat box. I hate it with a passion. And every time I had to clean it, I would yell and carry on. And this, God, this, And so finally she got me this robot thing, and it doesn't smell. And it, after she's done, the whole thing turns, and it's pretty amazing. And I'm pretty sure that saved my life or our marriage or something, but it's pretty awesome. Anyway, I like the boxer shorts, the football helmet, and the cowboy boots. That's a look. That is a look. On the Edge 72 says, "Hey, Bob, my sister doesn't understand how the internet works. She asked if this was live. Say hello to my sister. She doesn't carry a knife. Give her a recommendation." Oh, my gosh. All right. Well, yes, it's live. Hello. Hello, sister. Okay. I'll give you a recommendation. Ooh. I could easily recommend these two knives. This one is the Pony Stout, and this one is the Microburst, and they are both from community members, knife reviewers turned knife designers. It's always good to these are two that I've been loving to carry, but it really depends on, well, first of all, what your sister's name is, so I'm not just saying sister, but also what her taste is and what her needs are. She might want to get one of these if she's riding the bus late at night. Something low profile and dangerous to the other person. Maybe she wants a little fixed blade. Well, let's find out. So let me know a little bit about what her tastes are, and I'll continue to because I have a lot of my big stuff out tonight, which might not be good for just EDC if you're just getting into it. But I guarantee as you get further in, you'll be carrying crazy stuff like this. Jeremy Nedro says, "I'm in my workshop working on a new fixed blade." All right, Jeremy. You should take a picture of it, and somehow, or you could actually, continue working. But just know this, anyone who wants to put in, go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/join can come and say hi. Blame Dexter says, "Oh yeah, in CSGO." Okay, that's Counter-Strike Global Offensive, I think it is. You can buy cases and keys to get different skins for the guns. So that's just a different look, obviously. When you open these cases, they have different % chances to get certain items. Knives have like a 0.001% chance. Wow. And then to get this 1 out of 12. So the knife he got was like 0.0000000000001% chance of getting. That's outstanding. What's even better is that he said he's going to help his parents with it. You hearing that, girls? No, they're not. Flip Solo says, "I recommend the Shug Knives chili pepper push button to my sister." Shug Knives. What's that? Shug Knives chili pepper push button to my sister. That sounds awesome. I know there's a chili pepper knife designed by. Oh, is that what you meant? Swags instead of Shugs? Swags. I think that's maybe what you're talking about. Red. It's a nicely colored knife. It looks good, and my wife bristles at the pink knife thing. I don't. I have a couple of pink knives. I like the pink handle with the black blade. I think that looks nice, but I think she takes exception to the just because I'm a woman, I want my blade. Yeah, swags. Thank you. I gotta have it pink. Well, no, of course you don't. She's got a pretty good collection, my wife, at this point, built almost entirely, if not 100% entirely by me, but it's a good collection. And I think I have her tastes down. All right. I want to show you some of my cold steel Voyagers now that we're here. So I showed you this. This is the Voyager XL Tonto with the serrated edge, and that funky looking snaggletooth MF really does a great job of opening it's almost too good. I think that's why he deleted that extra hook there. Can actually start to jack up the pockets after a while. So there's the Tonto, and then I showed this one too. This one also has the snaggletooth on it, and that's the Chris. Has anyone here used the Chris before? Because it's an extremely useful blade shape. She lives in California and needs something to fend off the riffraff that inhabit that hellhole. She likes the color black, so get tactical on us. Oh man. All right. Yeah. Here. All right. So just getting back to that question real quick. This is a good one. This is somewhat custom. All right. Yeah, I got a lot of my. Okay, here's a good one. Copus Designs. This is the Elvia. Copus Designs collaboration with Ed Calderon on the Elvia knife. This has a special Japanese wrap that I had someone put on, Josh Mason of Bright for War. But here it is. You know, the Pakal style. It looks weird, but if you really are getting this to protect yourself, this I feel is your best bet, especially if you're untrained. I mean, there are ways to train with this to become, even better, but it really relies on gross motor motion. And if someone's on you and you just have this gripped in your hand and you have that tearing edge facing backwards, and your wrist and your arm and your shoulder all arc this way, and you tend to pull back towards you, you're doing a lot of damage. And it probably would not take this many to get someone to leave you alone. But this is a great one. It's also thin and light. And there are others, like I showed you this. This is a cheap version of that. This is a Victorinox fruit knife, and I just heated and bent the handle. I put that little wrap on there, and it's so thin and so sharp. And actually, if you just drop this, and I made a little Kydex sheath, but if you were to just drop this in your purse or your bag or whatever, or in your pocket, you could have this undetectable because it's thin and it's hard to see, and there's no pocket clip, but it sits in the pocket like this. You can reach in your pocket, pull it out, snag the sheath on the inside of your pocket with this little hook, and then you have a knife in hand. And it's not so expensive that if you actually need to use it and throw it down a sewer grate, no, I'm just kidding. But if you actually need to use it, and then it's, it's heaven forbid, but it's an effective thing and it's not too expensive. And if you lose it, it's not a big deal. So there's that. There's also the push dagger style of knife, and Cold Steel makes a lot of them that are very within reach. This is custom. But even for a custom knife, this is a Stroop Knives. This has a designation now. I don't know what it is, but when I got it, it was just the Stroop push dagger. And the concept is the same across all push daggers. You have that sort of T-shaped handle. Sometimes it's symmetrical on both sides and it goes there. I don't prefer that. Or it goes there. And the idea is you can just punch with it and do a lot of damage. And it's very difficult to disarm because the only thing to grab is the blade. There's no handle, with a straight knife like this. There's some handle. You might be able to get the knife out of the hand in a struggle. This one, very hard to get out of the hand. But like I said, Cold Steel makes 3 or 4 different sizes of these, from like a 4-inch blade down to like little 2-inchers. I used to keep one with serrations, a small 2-inch one with serrations on my keychain. And so yeah, I mean, I am thinking maybe push dagger could be a good thing, because it's intimidating. You see that in someone's hand, you're like, oh, okay. Just kidding. On the Edge 72 says Spyderco Matriarch. She'll be safe. Yeah, the Matriarch is pretty awesome. They also make one with the wave, so that when you pull it out of your pocket, much like this snaggletooth, it'll open up and you'll have an open knife in your hand. Excuse me. I mean, I'm showing you all these crazy big tactical folders, but I'm starting to feel more like fixed blades are where I put most of my trust. Not because I think the knife can't handle it, but I oftentimes wonder in a adrenaline soaked situation, am I going to be able to manipulate anything that doesn't have a wave that I can't just rip out of my pocket? So I don't know, just because I have not been in life or death situations where my knife was going to save me. Knock on wood. Let's see. Loyal Group says, I hooked up my ex. I got her an Essie Azula. That's nice. TKC scales and an Armitage sheath. Wow, that's nice. For what I can tell, she really likes it. That's cool, man. Yeah, that Essie Azula is a great little knife, and it's not threatening looking. Of course, you can make any knife a threat, but it looks just like a small utility knife. It's a pretty handsome little knife. Drop point. Jeremy Nedro, my wife loves the Kaiser Swayback. That's a beauty. The Kaiser Swayback is a sweet little knife. Andrew Anderson says, good evening, Bob. EDC was my Benchmade. Good evening, Andrew Anderson. Sorry, I didn't greet you, so. Good evening, Bob. EDC was my Benchmade Mini Osborne. I just ordered my first Demco 8020. Nice. Which I can't wait for. I got to play with one today and instantly fell in love. I was moved to pull my 8020 out today as well. It is a great knife. I mean, just listen to it. It just has such a pleasing sound. And it's just a great knife. I need to carry this knife more. And I always think that in the summertime, because I carry it much less in the summer because it's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier. And then fall comes around, it'll be back in the more of a rotation. So also, my wife, one of her favorites is one of her new favorites, I gotta say, is the Civivi Mini Praxis. That is a sweet knife. First of all, I love the Praxis, but it is like nearly 4 inches in blade length. So that is a great design, deserving of a smaller version. That smaller version has a just south of 3-inch blade, and it's awesome. You might like that too if you're looking for a folder. Yes. All right, more. Here we go. So I've got these three. I've got the Chris. I've got the Drop Point, which is a really cool addition. You know, I didn't talk about this. This was a really cool addition that they came out with, a new blade shape for the Voyager series, and they put jimping on this one, which I think is really cool, and I wish they would put it on all of them. Why not? It's very pleasing to the thumb. It's 100% unnecessary because of this giant finger choil and finger guard on the front part of the handle. But this is the clip point. So I went on a little Voyager tear a little while ago. I was regretting the fact that after I got this and was building up my Voyager collection, I was regretting the fact that I used to have an AUS 8 version of this and an AUS 8 version of this, and I gave them both to friends, one at work and one just old friend. And then, because I was like, oh, I don't need these now. I have the Recon 1 XLs in S35 or in XHP. So I got rid of these and then regretted it. So I got them back, and this one is in AUS 10. I mean, I didn't get the originals back. I ended up buying them, which I haven't done much of that, you know, buying back things I've gotten rid of. I could probably count them on one hand, like these two knives. Dion Page. Bob, I had a secretary tell me that my Azula 2 was scary. I said, the kitchen must be hell for you. That is funny. That's funny, Dion. Well, this is a great opportunity, Dion, for you to be a diplomat and for you to be an ambassador for knives in your office. Now, this is a task you must take slowly. I've been at where I am now for 12 years. 12 years, going on 13 years. And I've gotten knives for almost everyone there. And it's taken a while, but I can, like, no one bats an eye. It's all good. It's all good. I just have to be careful. Because you get too comfortable and then you realize, oh, someone here is sort of uptight about this and they're not letting on. So you do have to be careful about that. I do have my eye on one or two people who I keep them. Well, now just one, because that other one left. So yeah, but be an ambassador. That's all I'm trying to say. Knives are so cool. They're undeniably compelling. M, how you doing, M? Where are Civivi knives made? They're made in China. I can never remember the name of that city where all the Chinese, the Chinese knife city. But yeah, that's where they're made. And Civivi is under the We Knife company umbrella. So We Knife are the premium knives. Civivi started as their cheap knives, but they are now more expensive, kind of in that 100, I don't know, between 50 and 150, or 50 and I think they have a couple north of. And then Sencut is their third brand, and those are equally awesome in my estimation, equally well made, I should say, and pretty inexpensive. And the cool thing is that Civivi and Sencut, they take a lot of chances there because they're inexpensive knives, but I've been seeing we do a little bit more of that too, which is cool. DM Page says, it was the mom of the guy who builds my arm and damn near wait. It was the mom of the guy who builds my arm and damn near died laughing. Who builds my arm? So, but that's pretty interesting. This was, I don't understand what builds my arm is. But that's funny, man, how some people react. It's like, I've never, ever seen a knife just jump up, and go after someone. Never seen that. But some people seem to think that's what happens. Maybe with a knife like this. So this is the Vaquero Grande. Or no. This is just the Vaquero. The Vaquero Grande is the old one. I have one of those too, but that wasn't a Voyager. So I don't pull that. That doesn't get counted. This is my favorite blade shape. This is based on the Yatagan from Turkey. It's got that deep recurve, but it sweeps back up and puts that point at the center line. So so in all sorts of thrusts, where that point is. And yeah, just a really effective cutter. And then you add those serrations, and the Lynn Thompson second grade teacher signature. That sounds like I'm dissing my man Lynn Thompson. I am not. I'm very, very excited for some near future things happening here. I'm going to be talking to Lynn Thompson. Yay! Very excited. Very excited. But I love his signature. Is this big badass dude who can fight with a knife and all sorts of things, is a great hunter and shooter and tough dude, and he's got that signature, which I think is so. There's another little bit of cognitive dissonance. You'd expect it to be a power signature. I don't have time for this, but he's like Lynn Thompson, and I like that. And man, yeah, I was so psyched to meet him in person. I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with this guy. Yeah, with this guy. He started it all for me, like in the 80s. I mean, I was already loving knives from my grandpa and from Rambo and Commando and Predator. But then when I discovered the Cold Steel Tonto and then Cold Steel, it was full guns since then. Power Play says, I need the Chris and Tonto serrated and spear point to round out my Voyager collection. So is that to say that you have the Tonto without the serrations? I'm not going that far down the rabbit hole. I would like to have I like having the serrations on some of them. I'm not trying to get every single model, but at least one representation from each blade shape. On the Edge 72 says, she said thank you for the recommendations and also said you are a very handsome man. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Little wind in the sails. Thanks. M says, what is your favorite automatic knife? I've carried a Boker Kalashnikov forever, but I'm always looking for a new knife. M, I would say, and I don't have any of these out of my case tonight, but if you like the Kalashnikov and you like the out the side knives, I would say ProTech. Go for ProTech because, pardon me, you can get some ProTechs for, let's see, what am I trying to say? ProTech, first of all, makes the best out the side flippers. I mean, automatics. Microtech is in the running, but Microtech just makes fewer of them. Theirs are really good, but they're very expensive and hard to come by on the whole. Whereas that's ProTech's bread and butter. So out the side. And they have everything from knives that'll cost you, kind of in the upper hundreds to, thousands of dollars. They do some really special, what do you call it, engraving and different materials and stuff. But what I'm getting at is the reliability, the thwack, the build quality, the design from ProTech. Check it out. I recommend the TR3. I love the TR3. It's probably my favorite out of the bunch. So check them out. Loyal Group says these Voyagers use the triad lock, correct? Yes, sir. These do use the triad lock. And when I was at Blade Show, I had my first chance with the Atlas lock, and that has a really good feel. The Atlas lock, I will say, but I love the triad lock. That's so friggin' killer. Lynn fought a water buffalo with a spear. Yeah, yep. And there's one video where he's getting charged by a water buffalo, and he talks about how his Filipino knife fighting footwork got him out of the way, and you can see it, and I know the footwork, and I know what he's talking about, and it did, and he pulled out his gun and shot this thing. And when you look at Lynn Thompson, he defies some of your preconceived notions of someone who can move around really well, who can fight really well. And, because he's he's large, he's a big guy, but yeah, I wouldn't mess with that guy. I would not mess with that guy. Because I just wouldn't mess with him. Power Play for Real says, yes, I have 2 LX without serrated blades. Or XLs without serrated blades. Just sad they don't do the Recon 1 anymore because I don't have any XL versions of those. Power Play, every once in a while I'll see them come up on blade forums or the secondary other places. That's pretty much the only place. I've seen them on eBay too. The Recon XL is an amazing knife. It really, it is pretty awesome. Dion Page says, is that the Prather War Bowie above? Good eye, sir. Yeah. Yep. Here. Yep. That's a good eye. I put the pommels there of all the knives I have here just for something to look at, but I always wonder if anyone's gonna do that. So yes, the Prather War Bowie. Here, let me hold this up here. One of my favorite Bowie designs. I love that long clip. This would be a cool one to have a sharpened swedge on, though it's so this isn't even close to sharpenable. I mean, you could get some sort of a wedge-like thing here, but really, you don't need it much, because if you fight with this knife edge up, and use this right here, use this to break a hand and this to gouge and tear, man, you don't really need that sharpened swedge. Yeah, great knife. Power Play says, I saw that video and he is quick on the draw. Oh yeah. He sure is. Standing there, talking to him, I was like, hey, can I get a picture with you? Before I left. And he's like, sure, but you got to hold this. And he pulled out one of these. He had 2 of them. He pulls out one of these, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I was thinking he was going to hold the other one. That other one goes in a different pocket, and he pulls out. He had 2 of these. He had 1 on each belt. 2 of them. That's 1 on each side. I'm sorry, not belt. And actually, the other one could have been a Tonto. All I noticed was this handle on one of them, but one of them was the dagger, the taipan. I thought that was so overkill, beautiful overkill. But he pulled from his drawers, from his appendix right here. He pulls out an XL, XXL, or whatever it is, the Espada XL, the 7.5-inch folder with the 13-inch overall. And we took our picture that way, and he's got this beautiful engraving on the bolsters, and what an awesome knife. Anyway, Jeremy says, Lynn is shaped like a barrel. but moves like a cheetah. Well said. Yeah, he's barrel shaped. That's exactly what I was trying to, like, he's not corpulent, and he's not, obese or anything like that. He's not someone I would call that. But yeah, that's what he's barrel shaped. He's like muscle and other stuff. Anyway, that other stuff could kick your ass or kick mine anyway. So, but he indicated to me that he's looking forward to like unloading stories, and we'll see. He's seen a lot in the knife world, that's for sure. And I got just an inkling of how much he has seen, and how much he's experienced, and how much he's influenced the knife world just there and talking with him and Luc Lafontaine for a few minutes. I don't know if you saw the interview I did with Luc Lafontaine on this show, or on the podcast, but he's an interesting dude too. He does all this Hollywood stunts and fighting, but he's also a blade master, not a master bladesmith, a master of the blade in certain kinds of fighting. And he's guest spots in a lot of these Cold Steel Deadliest Weapon videos. Cool guy. Anyway, it was cool to stand amongst them for 10 minutes and shoot and BS. I mean, for me, it wasn't shooting it. It wasn't BS. And I was like thrilled the whole time, just trying to be cool about it. But, these are our movie stars. Like it to a great extent. It'd be cool to meet Robert De Niro, because I like him in so many movies, but he seems like kind of a jerk in real life. So I don't know. These are my movie stars. I'm going to meet Lynn Thompson. That's awesome. Will B says someone did a pocket check on Lynn at one of the Blade shows, and he was pulling knives from everywhere. There's a video somewhere. It was last year. That's so cool. Yeah. Jeremy Nedro, that was me pulling it out. I was about to make a bad joke. Jeremy Nedro said, I wouldn't test old Lynn. No. Because even if you managed to get away from him, he'd shoot you. He'd pull out some big, massive revolver meant to down rhinos and, gun you down. I'm just kidding. He wouldn't do that. I doubt he would do that unless he needed to, and then he would do it effectively. Have I shown this adequately? I keep looking at it, and I've been carrying this thing like, I haven't been carrying it in my front right, but I've been having this. It's been with me a lot since I got it. I really like it. This is the O-Knife Freeze, right? Yeah, the Freeze. And I'm just loving that Wharncliffe blade. I'm also a big fan of that chalky sort of texture on anodized aluminum. And that's what you got here. And nice color combination. Really great action. 154 cm blade. And I don't know. It's a beaut. This is on sale. They're having a summer sale. I know everyone's been doing videos on it. And the Freeze is one of the knives. I think you can get this for like $65, down from $89. I think that's what it is. I know Stasa just did a video on this, and lots of cool performance shots in that video of him, how he does it. He cuts through all sorts of stuff to test knives on different materials. And that one came through with shining colors. So very much digging this knife, and I think I recommend it. Power Play for Real says no matter where his hand is, he can draw a blade in a flash. That's right. So Cold Steel. I mean, there was a period of time where people did not like Cold Steel, and I think it was because they weren't used to seeing pigs being severed and that kind of thing. But now they're used to it with the History Channel. Andrew Anderson says, yes, Zach in the wild, and Ben Peterson did a pocket check on LT. Awesome. Oh, those two guys are great too. That must have been fun to watch. Will B says, yeah, he even mentioned in the pocket check that he normally would have a gun or two on him. Yeah. It's like, where do you keep all that? Jeremy Nedro, I would love to see Lynn Thompson's blade collection. See, this is the thing. I'm really excited to even just talk about it, because I know that he has a lot of historical and ethnographic weapons. And like the things behind me, except I envision a giant vault full of them, because I know that some of the things he's designed, some of the swords that Cold Steel does, he designed from his own swords, from his own collection. So I think that'd be pretty impressive to see. Yeah. I want to get invited. Oh my gosh. Okay, you're seeing it here. I want to get invited out to his ranch. I want to be invited out to the ranch. I want to throw spears at targets. I want to, I want to do all the stuff you see that they do in those videos. I mean, that's got to be such a blast. First of all, to have a ranch in California or wherever he is, pretty sure he's in California, but just to have a ranch, have all that space, all that natural beauty, and then to have the means to have it set up the way it is with all of that training, all the targets and training centers and all that, would just be so cool. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll work on getting myself invited out there, and if I go, I'm taking you along with me. Well, I'll take my camera. Yeah. So here's something interesting and curious. I was looking at here. This is a Knife Life news story. I was looking at Knife News, and I saw that Vosteed is putting out a new one called the Corgi, and it looks just like, well, it doesn't look just like, but it looks somewhat like the Ray Laconico Corgi that Kaiser produced, and I couldn't find anything in the article that linked them, but to me this looks like a I don't know. I mean, isn't it weird? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Isn't it weird that there would be two knives by two Chinese competitors? Vosteed was started by a guy who left Kaiser, and they both produce a knife called the Corgi, which is kind of obscure. They're cute dogs, but I don't know. It's weird. Like, wouldn't you name this after another cute dog if a cute dog was how you wanted to describe this cute little knife, or how you wanted to associate? Wouldn't you name it something else? Lhasa Apso, Bichon, the Vosteed cutlery, Bichon Frise. It's hypoallergenic, and it'll cut your steak. I don't know. It just seemed very weird to me. It looks cool. It also looks a little bit like, what does it look like? Something just came out recently that has the pivot and then a button lock directly behind the pivot in that sort of setup. Who knows? Maybe it was the Kaiser Corgi. I don't know, but interesting that they'd have the same name. We're starting to see that an awful lot more, as a matter of fact, doubling up on names. It's like, I feel like 2 years ago, everyone was complaining about how naming knives is so hard. And then after that, discussion in the zeitgeist went away, then no one cared about names. And now there are just like a couple of knives that have this name, a couple of knives have that name. And you're asking me for an example, and I can't think of one besides the Corgi right now, but I know that I've experienced it even doing Life Knife news stories where I'm like, how can they name this that? There's already one called that, but knife's a knife. I'm sure there's 8 million knives, with similar names. Anyway, Loyal Group says, can you imagine sitting around a campfire with that guy and just listening to the stories? That'd be cool. Yeah. I mean, he's done a lot with his life. He started in the knife business when he was young. I mean, he was like in his early 20s. So he's done a lot, and traveled to a lot of places, killed a lot of things, learned how to, so yeah, built that company. Interesting dude. Power Play says he loves true knife enthusiasts, so you could get an invite if Lynn discovers your interest and will share with the community. Oh man, yeah, that's my that would be a dream, man. I would love that. How cool would that be? Yeah, we'll see if that comes to pass. So yeah, Vosteed Corgi. Any thoughts on that? What is this? Didn't they just have that? And then another thing I want to mention. Oh yeah, that's right. We have an affiliate link, TheKnifeJunkie.com/Vosteed. Check that out. We first got that when I got the Morgan, the chef's knife from them, and that was like came in and usurped the rest of the chef's knives in the kitchen and became our go-to until I got the Steve Kalari Customs 8-inch chef knife, and that's all I use now. But as a backup, the Vosteed Morgan, it's like a $45 chef's knife, is awesome. I think it's VG10 clad with 420 or something. Very, very good. Even good ergonomics, even though they don't look like they're going to be good. Jeremy Nedro, if you go to the ranch, Bob, make sure you record it. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I mean, I don't know how I could swing that, but yeah, I'd love to have someone else there to record it. But I work with some guys who would be so perfect, but I can't pay them. I can't pay to have them come. And see that I'm already, oh my gosh, I've already invited I'm already going. It's already happening. Spyderco lifted its map pricing for 3 days. Did you miss it? You probably did. I don't know how I think about map pricing. That's where the price is the same straight across the board. And they just one of the magical mid-year surprises happened at midnight last night. Spyderco lifted its map restrictions for the next 3 days, meaning some pretty hot sales are going on now through July 12th, which was yesterday. Oh, well, I guess it's not news anymore. But to me, what's news is the map pricing and them lifting it. Does that mean that everywhere had sales on Spyderco, or does that just mean at their website? That's what I don't understand. I mean, map goes across all websites, but map, or minimum advertised pricing, is the name, as the name would suggest, a price limit beneath which dealers are not permitted to go. Spyderco's map policy in particular is pretty well known in the knife world. So when it gets lifted, however briefly, it's big for enthusiasts. Yes, but I'm wondering if, okay. Yeah. So presumably it's at their dealers that they were allowing that to happen. And then obviously, I guess on their website, they would too. Who else has map pricing? I know ZT did. Benchmade, I think, does. I don't like it. It seems a little control freaky, but whatever. I'm not a businessman. I'm not Spyderco, so I don't know. Jeremy Nedra says, I can't stand some of their prices. Yeah. Some of them they make some expensive knives, and they keep creeping up, but that's what's happening everywhere. Jeremy says some of the Spyderco prices are nuts for their handle materials. Yeah, agreed. And I got to say, like, coming out with the Military 2 after so many years needing a Military 2 and then having it come out in S30V, it's like, really, do we have to go through this now? We got to wait another 5 years for it to come out in S35 and then another 5 years for S45. And like, to me, that's a little like, come on, make it a legit 2, because the Military 1 or the Military was in S30V. Come on. Pardon me. Five Door says, seems like everyone had sales, some even lower. Blade HQ. Oh, yeah. For the PM2 S90V for $145. That's a nice deal. Yeah, I've been Oh, right. Yeah, they didn't mention that, but Blade HQ had the Spyderco sale. And I don't remember seeing anything about like map pricing, but they were making a big deal about a Spyderco sale. Yes, because they never have Spyderco sales unless lifted. Okay, got it. All right, I'm going to put these away and show off some of the things I have out in front of me. Because every Thursday night, I get all of these knives out, and I realize I don't show a lot of them. A lot of them just sit here for moral support. And I know that's not what you're here for. Or maybe you are, but you also want to see knives. And so I was looking and in my top shelf, and some of these designs, these are the ones that popped out at me as sort of ultimate tactical folder designs. There's one more. Where is it? Right here. Look at these. So all a bit exotic, but all very, weapony. you know, they all represent weapons from history, but they're all these modern takes on them. And yeah, this is where my tastes really lie. I know that's not a surprise to you, but I still try to get into smaller knives, and I like them, and they do come in handy for moral support and emotional support, just for flipping and stuff. But really, I keep coming back to these larger tactical knives. The more ethnographic, the better. You know, like this or this right here. How cool is that? Dirk Pinkerton's take on the Navaja in titanium. So beautiful. Big fan of this. And oh, here's another Pinkerton. This prototype. I know I've been showing it off, but I had to keep it under wraps for a while, and built up a head of steam here. Dion Page. I like the top two most, the dagger and especially that dagger. So this is the Antimatter by Arcane Designs. Antimatter, and you can see some of his influence, sci-fi right there. There's a Tesla coil on that beautiful clip. I love that faceted clip, sort of stealth fighter-ish. But this is also, you know, I said from history, it's a dagger. Yes, there were daggers in history, but it has a very modern look to it, definitely. And one of the few double-edged daggers that fold out there. And that alone was what pushed me into the arms of this knife. That and the fact that I just think it's stunning. And, you know, I'm shallow and I like things that make my eyes feel good, like this, with that bronze and those machine satin finish lines. Man, it's a stunner. You just do have to be careful when you put it away, that you use the quillion here, or that you just drop shut it, because you're not going to do this too many times before you learn that you can get cut. Obviously, these quillions can be used in a pinch to wave the knife out of your pocket, though. See, I just cut myself doing that. Though it's not necessarily recommended, because you really have to get that juiced into the corner of your blade. You really have to rip it out. It doesn't come out as easily as it should. Also, a Strider. Anyone watch Sean Ryan, the Sean Ryan Show, the podcast? Interesting dude, former top tier military operator. I'm not sure what, maybe a SEAL or something, and then CIA operator, etc. He's got a great interview show. He talks to some really interesting people, and I just found out that he carries a Strider, because he always does a little EDC, like sub interview, little 10-minute EDC interview with his guests. What are you carrying? What do you like to carry? And his recent guest, Dr. Stephen Greer, you want to hear some freaky alien stuff? Man, listen to that. But they were having a conversation, and he said, I have a Strider knife. And it was the one that was issued to him in the CIA. And I thought, how cool is that? I carry a Strider knife issued to me by the CIA. It's got the parts number and all that. That's cool. Loyal Group. That Pinkerton reminds me of the Topps fixie called the Unzipper. Yes. The Unzipper was the lioness turned, just sharpened on the opposite side. They did nothing else, which I think is cool. I mean, beveled and sharpened on the other side, because I've always loved that. And then you reverse it around and it's perfect. Except I would knock off the top. There's a little bit of the tang that protrudes at the end. That's not nice for the thumb. Great blades. Good to see you, Great Blades. The scales on the military to look like vinyl siding on a mobile home. They need to change that before I buy one. The scales on the military, really, like vinyl on a mobile home. That's funny. They look just like black G10 to me. But I've been listening to the Edge and Flow podcast with Schwartz and Burnley. They're collabing on a knife right now. Yeah. I have not listened to that yet, but I would like to. There's another comment up there, Jim, a few back that I missed. Excuse me. Something about Stephen Greer. if you still have it. Oh, he talked to Stephen Greer. Yeah, he did. Yeah, really interesting. And then he talked to 3 whistleblowers, military guys, more like Sean Ryan, who had been, exposed in one way or another to some of this alien stuff just through being in the military, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen that one yet, but it's fascinating stuff. And, it's irrefutable, right? That's the right word. It's irrefutable that these things are here, but a lot of them, or some of them, are ours. That apparently that we've back engineered and have used, and they're capable of some pretty incredible stuff, but they don't have that same seamless look. They have pipes and shit like hanging out all over, and like nodes and radar and stuff apparently. So I think that's kind of funny. Instead of a UFO just being like formed out of some cosmic primal stew, it's like manufactured with off the shelf parts. Jeremy says, I like the shirt. Where can I get one? This is Niche Designs. Nick Rogers of Niche Designs. 20CV, an M4, an S35EN, an XHP, an SM100. I've never heard of that one. Vanex 14C28N and 3V. So just go to Niche, Nitch Designs, and hopefully he still has them. I know he did this between knife projects, and man, a lot of people bought them, and I think they're great. I love the t-shirt, and I love wearing it around non-knife people who are like, what, like trying to figure out what the hell that means. Loyal Group, it's funny you showed the Strider, because when you spoke about ProTech autos earlier, I immediately thought about the OTS Strider collabs they offer. Yeah, those are pretty sweet. I had one, and I gave it to Nick. I didn't give it to Nick. I sold it to Nick, and Nick Martino. I'm not sure if he's with us tonight, but I miss it. It was so cool. It was really cool. Jeremy Nedro, cool. Thanks. You got it, man. Anytime. Yeah, Nick's a cool guy. He's been on the show too. He's a nice dude, and really good designer of knives. He did the recent Egress, or is it the Ingress? The Egress from from Concept. Very, very nice knives. Very nice. Oh, he also did the Ahab, which was frequently featured with a wood handle. All right, I'm going to put these away, or just down to the side. And then I want to show you a couple I've been carrying a lot lately. Folders. One of them, oh man, I love this thing. The accelerator is just getting smoother and smoother. This Mike Snowdy designed accelerator made by Artisan. If you don't know Mike Snowdy, he used to be, I shouldn't say used to be a force in the knife world, but he used to be more of a force in the knife world, I guess. I think for a while he was making other things, but interesting, definitely an interesting character. I remember years ago, he had a series about working in his shop and making knives. He was in Florida at the time, and kind of Florida man a little bit, but very, very elegant designs and a great eye for design. And we see his work pop up here and there in like Benchmade. I think they have a Snowdy design somewhere in there, and a couple of other places. But on the whole, this to me, I think, is the most is like the newest, most high profile thing he's done in a while. I could be mistaken, and if I am, let me know. But I love this action. It's got tremendous action here with that comet shaped hole, and you can slow roll it, you can flick it, middle finger flick it, and all that. And I was looking at this, and I thought maybe, at first I was like, I have to have it. It's so beautiful. I have to have it. And then I didn't buy it. And then after a while, I was like, the handle looks thin compared to the blade. Like, is this going to be an uncomfortable knife? And no, it is not. It is not an uncomfortable knife at all. It's extremely comfortable and useful. And I like these choke up points. You got this nice little platform. This is kind of a cold steel touch, if you ask me. But you can just kind of come right up here, put your thumb up in that harpoon swedge, and go to town. Also, very comfortable like this. So that harpoon, I don't often like the way harpoons look. I happen to like how it looks on this one. This reminds me of a dinosaur or something, or some sort of exotic fish. So it looks good on this one, and it makes sense ergonomically on this one. Excuse me. RR, good to have you here. RR came on late, so don't know what you've talked about already. Brought a Cybertrix. What a great folder with no screws. Wow, Cybertrix. What is that? What is that? RR. Well, thanks for coming. And we've talked about a lot of stuff, but I'm interested in this Cybertrix. Blade Ogre thought about the K-Bar Snody Boss and the Big Boss, but never pulled the trigger. Right. Tontos, right? Chisel ground Tontos. Am I right about that? Dion Page says the handle reminded me of cold steel. Exactly. Look, just with the different options, not in any way rip off or even derivative, but same sort of accommodations. I like that. And this does give you the option to come back a little bit further if you needed to. And if you had a lanyard, and I'm not sure why you would have to do that, but maybe you're out mowing the lawn, there's a vine you need to cut, it's the only knife in your pocket. That's really the only thing I've used this for so far. And not by design. Like, I usually prefer to have something like this out when I'm mowing the lawn, Anyway, Power Play says, hey, Knife Junkie, are there any knives you like so much you have to have more than one of the exact same knife fixture folder? Well, exact same. No, I mean, I've had two Yojimbos, different steels, different colorways. I got rid of one of them, also to Nick Martino. I gotta say, like the Voyager here, like the fact that I have two Vaqueros, that's about as close as I get to that. I am pretty much a I pretty much like shiny objects distract me. So I'll pine over a knife for a while and get it, and then almost and then my buying goals, my collection goals shift, and so I almost never get two of the same thing, but this is pretty close. I do have two of the mini proponents, also Dirk Pinkerton designs. Yeah, and I have two of these, but one's in titanium and one's in G10. So to answer your question precisely, no, because none of them are exactly the same. But the same knives with little variations, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. Jim, was there oh yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. Check out the Ultimate Steel fundraiser over at Knife Rights. I don't know if you heard this, but there have been victories in Philadelphia recently, one in Virginia here. We can now carry knives, automatic knives concealed. Now in, where was it? Tennessee, they can carry pocket knives at school polling places. Like these little stupid little laws that are turning regular people into criminals. Someone who has a pocket knife in their knife when they go to vote, is suddenly a criminal. Well, they're getting rid of this stuff. Knife Rights is going state to state and getting rid of this stuff, but it takes a lot of money. And the sales of the RSK, the Hogue Ritter RSK Mark I, those knives, the Mark III and the 5, those go to help keep his bills on. But Knife Rights really is dependent on, what do you call it? Tennessee. Yeah. Really is dependent on donors and donor support. Well, the Ultimate Steel is the way to do it because you get entered into win knives, and depending on when you enter and how much you give, you have your choice of some crazy knives. So yeah, do check it out. And like I said, Louisiana or Florida, Tennessee, and Virginia just had big victories in knife rights laws, and that's due to them completely. So if you have the means, go support the Ultimate Steel 2023 fundraiser. Oh God. All right. Sorry, guys. This is it can be very uncomfortable to talk with all this happening in my sinuses. Power Play says, great work Doug is doing, and he is truly a knife rights champion. He's the knife rights champion. I got to see him again in person at Blade, and great to talk to these people and meet them, but to shake their hand is even better. I carried a blade every day of school from first grade to graduation. When did you graduate, Dion? I guess I could have gotten away with that. I know it would have been frowned upon, but I didn't have to walk through metal detectors or anything like that. So how would they have known? I'm flipping this Lucha. I love this thing. I think I need to carry it more. I think this needs to, if it had a pocket clip, I know I would. But I think I need to carry one of these. I think this is the next thing, say at work. My sandwich, 92. Okay. Young, you're a babe in arms, Dion. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, 92. Yeah. Oh, 92 from high school. I graduated 89 from high school. So you're not that young. Just kidding. I think I need to carry one of these because couple of things. First of all, it would be cool to pull it out and cut the sandwich. Yes. But the other thing is this. There's the subculture of Bali boys, as they're affectionately called, who, it's almost as if it didn't have to be a knife. Almost as if what they're doing doesn't have to be a knife. You know what I mean? All the special stuff they do. I never see it land open and then like this, like, okay, now I'm ready to fight. Or I never see it land open and then like, okay, I'm going to cut my sandwich. Or, after all those tricks, you never see the knife get used or brandished. And I think that's what needs to happen with the butterfly knife. I think the butterfly knife the Bali song needs a slight public image tweak. I think it's turned into too much of a toy accessory, and no doubt the companies that are making the sought after Bali songs are amazing. I mean, they make amazing knives. It's not the knives, it's the people. And I don't mean it's the people. I just mean like add a little bit of like, after you do that thing where you flip it around and you catch it and you twirl it, just do this every once in a while, or just do this every once in a while, or just cut your sandwich. So we can turn this into a cool weapon again instead of a toy accessory. Isn't there a Bali song pen? Yes, there is. Spyderco has a Bali song pen. Pretty cool looking. Bob is telling us he wants to get fired. No, you know what? I'm not. I like my job. Fellow class of 98 of 89 here. All right, man. Loyal group. Right on. The Hardy. The 89ers. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, man. Woo, getting not that I don't feel old, but I got some years on me now, and it's funny to think about sometimes, in those quiet hours. Wow, like wow. I realized it's been 30 years since I graduated high school, college. I was like, what? 33 decades. What do you have to show for it? I'm like, oh my God, that was 30 years ago? God. Okay. Anyway, you don't need to hear my existential ramblings, but yeah, it starts to happen. It starts to happen. Anyone on board for this, or am I just barking in the wilderness? Don't we need some sort of? Isn't that cool? Don't we need some sort of renaissance in the Bali song world? You're gonna watch me cut myself live. I'm gonna stop doing that. That's not the exact posture to do that in, for me anyway. I have three ways to open a Bali song, and that's all. That's all that's necessary. Power play for real. Bali song, switchblades, and out the fronts get a bad rap for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Exactly. And the Bali song is the funniest one of all. To have that outlawed, it's like the knife that takes the most skill to open up. You know, Dion absolutely agrees. Cool. Well, let's do it. It's like when my brother and I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago, something like that, we tried to get dynamite back in the public sphere. We wanted all Americans, a year hence to be saying dynamite. Oh, this cheeseburger is really dynamite. Thanks. Or, oh, I think your presentation's dynamite, but we have to tweak it a little bit. Dynamite. And it didn't catch. And we tried. And it was like it's like the universe saying, fetch ain't happening. So fetch did not happen. But maybe this will happen. I'm going to carry this. I'm going to carry this tomorrow. This will be my front right carry tomorrow. And when a knife need comes up, I will read the room, but I will use this, depending on who's there. I will open it, as quietly or as grandly as possible and see what happens. Jim's on the other end shaking his head. You dumbass. Blade Ogre, because we work at the same place. Blade Ogre says, the best I ever saw of a Bali song was in Streets of Fire. No kidding. We were just talking about Streets of Fire. I never saw that movie, but I remember the music video on MTV on the dark side, and I hated it. So I thought I would hate the movie. But now I got to go see it. It's part of my past now. Gus Beck, good to see you here, Gus. Good evening, all. Good evening, y'all. Carried the Benchmade bailout with AWT, Advanced Weapons Technology scales, and the Wee Knives Laconico Evo. Oh, that knife really, every time I see Tomas Alas from the Tactical Tavern, he does, knife tricks with his. It's such a beautiful blade. I love the swedge. I love the whole, that evoke. I would like to get that knife. And there aren't too many Wee knives that I feel that way about, but that's a beauty. Oh, here we go. A beautiful long swedge straight clip. Yes, I agree. I also got a new Yojimbo today with a cool ergonomic knife. Oh, what a cool ergonomic knife. Yeah, love the Yojimbo all day long. But yeah, the Evoke, it is a beautiful thing. Dynamite. Tim knows. Let's do it. JJ Walker. That's right. And here's the thing though. I said to my brother and I decided that we didn't want to be ironic about it. So we weren't going to dynamite it. We weren't going to JJ Walker it. We were going to do it as straight white male as possible. Like, oh, that's really dynamite. Oh, fabulous shot. Just dynamite. Dion Page says, I'll join you. I have an old Bali song I'll carry tomorrow. Okay, cool. Bali song Friday. No, we don't have to hashtag it. Let's just do it old school like we used to do. All right. We look at our watch. We say at a certain time on a certain day, we're all going to do this thing. And we don't have to check in via text 15 million times. Let's just agree right now. It's like, yep, we've gotten lazy. I mean, to me, like synchronizing your watches, making a plan, and then showing up on time without like a whole bunch of texts. That's the way to do it. Loyal Group, I cut myself enough with my fixies. With a Bali song, I get frequent flyer miles with the with the ambulance service. Yeah, no kidding, man. Just remember, grab the non-locking side on most of them. Some of the super cheap Bali songs have it reversed, where you have to grab the lock side. And so you just don't bother with those. I have a Baron Sons somewhere too. We used to, when my wife and I lived in New York, we used to have a Bali song on our coffee table at all times. It got used for opening beer and cleaning out bowls and all sorts of stuff. It was a jack of all trades. And there was always something cool about, seeing my wife. Yeah. My Vero Neuron terrifies me. Wait. What do you mean? Flip Solo. My Vero Neuron terrifies me. What is that? What is the neuron? Flipper Friday. Oh, yeah. I guess there is a Flipper Friday, says Tim. Gus, did anyone get the Millie 2 yet? Mine finally shipped. Where'd you get yours from? Was it from Blade HQ? I'm curious because I don't know why Blade HQ is the last one on the block to get that knife, but I put in my $5 down on that, and I want to see it. Power play. Bali song take back to Sharky's Machine. First movie I saw it in. I remember Sharky's Machine. I was like, that was a movie I had to, my brother and I both had to sneak. So I don't think I ever saw the whole thing. The Outsiders was the first one I saw a Bali song in, or noticed that it was a different kind of knife. And it was when it was the character played by, oh God, why does this happen to me? But one of the characters, the one played by the tall, thin, dark-haired guy. Damn, but he used one of these, and he was in a hospital bed, and it was right before the big rumble, and he says, "Let's do it for Johnny. Let's do it for Johnny." He flips open a Bali song. So I think he may stab his bed or something. But yeah, who was that guy? Someone help me with the actor names, because I keep thinking Timothy, but it's not Timothy. And then he had a brother too, and his brother played the shotgunner in Platoon. Pre-ordered the Millie at Knife Center, of course. Damn it, I should have gone to Knife Center. I mean, I like Blade HQ for the knife porn of it, but when it comes to actually ordering, I think I prefer Knife Center. They've always been my go-to. Flip Solo says, a double detent flip joint. I've got skiffs in mine, and it's very dangerous. It'll catch you if you're not with a healthy respect for non-lockers. That's interesting. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Stay golden. Yes, stay golden. Yes. What a great Matt Dillon. Thank you, Matt Dillon. I was thinking Timothy Dalton or something. Blade got it. Cheeto Bandito. Cheeto, I'm not sure if I said hi to you before, but it's good to have you here. Right as I'm sorry. Next week, I vow not to cough. Even if I still have the cough and it's like killing me, I'm not going to do it. Ponyboy was better as the Karate Kid. He was. You know, when you watch The Outsiders, everyone was in that movie. Like all of the, like, Tom Cruise was in that movie. He barely had a line, if any. Yeah, Ralph Macchio, Patrick Swayze, Matt Dillon. Whole bunch of guys were in that movie. That I think Emilio Estevez was in it, or the one of the Sheens. Great movie. We have to watch that again because I think that's going to be on my older daughter's summer reading list, which is cool. I'm glad they still do good books for summer reading. It's not like Lawn Boy and, whatever else they're looking at. All right, you guys and gals, I think that's it for me tonight. I'm going to go nurse this throat with, with water. That's the only sensible thing. Water. I get my water through coffee. That's how I get my water. So I'm gonna set the coffee aside and take care of myself. Anyway, you all take care of yourselves this week. The Outsider was required reading in 7th grade. So cool. Yeah, us too. Great book. S.E. Hinton. Estevez. You're right. Okay. Emilio Estevez. Kiefer Sutherland was Soda Pop. That's right. Jeez. Thanks for the stream. Flip Solo anytime, especially Thursdays. Thanks for coming. Warm saltwater gargle. Yeah, that's a good one. My grandma used to have me do that. That is a good one. Power play for real, says right on target. All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, Bob and Jim, says 5-door. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure to have the gentleman junkies with us. Descentient 01, sleep well. Thank you, Bob and Jim. Thank you so much, Descentient. You sleep well too. One and all. We all got to get up for that grind early tomorrow or at some point. But before we do, check out Patreon. You can go right there. I want you guys to have an awesome weekend. Remember, it's starting right now. And this weekend, this weekend's podcast is really awesome. I speak with Imre Morgenstern of Prime Combat Training. He is a former Israeli IDF operator, like high up operator, demolitions dude, who just recently collaborated on a knife with Tim Kell, and he's got some other knives with Lotar, Combat Knives out of Israel. So very interesting guy with some very interesting perspective. So check it out. He's also just a nice dude and fun to talk to. Andrew Anderson, thank you. Have a great evening and feel better. Thank you so much, Andrew. And thank you, Cheeto Bandito, Bob and Jimmy. Yep. And have a great night, y'all. Stay sharp. Thank you. You all stay sharp. Have a great weekend. Thanks for the show, Bob and Jim. Thank you, Blade Ogre. Always appreciated. Cold Steel Collector, thanks for an awesome show. Aloha. Aloha to you, sir. Good show, Bob and Jim. Thank you, Wilby. I hope you saw the progress pics of the Nova 1. Loyal Group, I'll be in touch, Bob. Awesome. Thank you. I will get this in the mail to you. Autumn Wind, J Cape 4V in the pocket, or V4 in the pocket, and has been for weeks. I love that, J Cape. Thanks, Autumn Wind. Have a great weekend. Thank you, one and all, for Jim working his magic behind the switcher. I'm Bob DeMarco, begging you not to take dull for an answer.